Hi, I'm Mike Dano, and welcome to the RCR Wireless Newscast for the CTIA show here in San Francisco. Today the show got off to a solid start with a well-attended keynote session anchored by a discussion among the CEOs of Verizon Wireless, T-Mobile, and Sprint. CTIA's Steve Largent questioned the panelists about their definition of openness.
Or at least when I think of open in the context of the wireless industry, there's really three different contexts. One is the end user or the customer. The other is from the point of view of the developer, and the third is with respect to the device. With respect to the customer, there's roughly 5% of the content that's out there on the internet that's really optimized for wireless. And what customers really want when they say open is, I want to be able to get the whole internet. I don't want any restrictions. I don't want any walled gardens or what have you. But I think what the industry tried to do, quite frankly, from a brand point of view, is to make sure that the experience was a good one. And in the 2G world, in the narrowband world, I think that was largely necessary. I think it's less necessary in the 3 and 4G world, because customers can get a pretty good experience, although not always as great an experience, even with 3G, if the site isn't optimized for wireless. So a few things that we've done is in March of this year, we allowed full HTML browsing for the entire internet on all of our devices, all of our CDMA devices. So a customer can go everywhere. Now, they're not always going to get the same experience if they go outside of sites that are optimized for the wireless experience, but they'll be able to get anywhere. And we put some transcoding in there to work with the customer's browser to do the best job we possibly can to improve the experience, but it's not always the same. Secondly, in the same period of time, March, we came out with Simply Everything, which is just to encourage more data use. Recently, Sprint Web, what we've done there is we take a look at what a customer does when they surf and try to make it more personal, a little more intuitive, easier to surf the web. And kind of finally today we launched something called One Click. And on high-end smartphones, PDAs, there's pretty good surfing capability, a lot you can do to customize your home screen. This is more on mid-tier devices. And they're like tiles. It's almost like a speed dial for voice, where a customer can customize those tiles. Those tiles could be anything from voicemail, email, text, but they could also be, hit a tile and go instantly to Google search or go to YouTube or actually go to whatever website, a shortcut to a website that may not be a Sprint website, at the touch of a button. So we say from a customer's point of view, knock yourself out. The entire internet is yours. You will not get an error message, that you can't access that site or you shouldn't. That's really openness from their point of view. Secondly, briefly, is from the developer's point of view, what open means to them is just make it easy to put my apps on your network. They're looking for open standards, kind of common tools, and so we're working toward improving that. We have Java-based tools. We have 135,000 application developers that are registered on Sprint. But we still have work to do, but they're saying, look, we developed the app for the internet, make it really easy for us to kind of port that app over to you. And then finally, from the device point of view, we still have a ways to go. I think on the GSM side, they may have, with SIM cards and what have you, it's probably slightly easier to have, more openness from the device perspective. But the real breakthrough for us, although we do have kind of a device, what's the word I'm looking for, authorization program that we currently employ on 3G because we have an MVNO network. So, for example, the Amazon Kindle, if you're downloading, let's say books on the Amazon Kindle, that uses our network. So we are creating more openness on the network, but really 4G and the WiMAX kind of embedded chip model. I know that kind of myself and my colleagues would probably like to do a lot less subsidizing of devices. So bring your own device, go down to Best Buy, Radio Shack, Circuit City, whether it's a laptop or a camera or a PDA or a gaming station. The plan is there'll be an embedded WiMAX chip, and just bring it.
But despite all the rhetoric, there is surprisingly little substance to the conversation, and most of the softball questions provided little new information. Indeed, perhaps the most interesting part of the discussion was Dan Hesse's surprising choice of footwear. And after the carrier's panel discussion, Yahoo's mobile chief showed off the company's new One Connect product.
One Connect. One Connect is now available today for the iPhone. And One Connect allows everybody to keep connected to the persons that they care about. It's a socially connected address book.
But the presentation did suffer a few minor hiccups.
I'm having my let's do a live demo, a little bit of jitters here. Hold on a moment. So just scrolling around.
Great.
It's beautiful.
So you're now waiting for the network?
Yeah.
I would have said that too.
And for the people quoting, he said it. I didn't want to point that one out. But anyway, you get the idea. Basically, what I want to do is this is a nice camera, but this is better. So here we go. Here's the network.
Okay. So network is back. Good.
I just want to do a quick scroll.
Wow.
And finally, wireless veterans Craig McCaw and John Stanton wrapped up the keynote session with a little bit of reminiscing about the beginnings of the wireless industry.
One thing to remember is in the beginning things always look a little unappealing, and so this is not an AK-47 in here, but in fact this is an original Motorola Dynatac that all of us had the vision of what it could be from the beginning. You couldn't hold this for more than 15 minutes because it literally weighs enough to
what was the battery life on that phone?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And 30 minutes of talk time. But you couldn't hold it that long.
Well, that's it for today's RCR Wireless newscast. Please visit rcrwireless.com/CTIA for full CTIA coverage.